Okay, continuing on, the next thing we're going to focus on is going to be the implementation of GUI controls to handle both strength and opacity.
Yep, finally, we're going to be able to adjust strength and opacity. We keep
All
talking
right.
about it for all these videos. Now it's time to actually do it. So I'm going to try to get control over here and focus.
Just as soon as you, there you go.
Yeah. It's like going click and click, nothing. All right, I'm going to close down some of these other methods to make things easier to see what's going on. All right, select brush. We don't need to look at this one anymore. Now, we've got our draw texture here. I'm going to duplicate this again. Now, we're skipping over a section. If you remember from the demonstration, we had a tool section followed by a brush section. Then we had a dynamically assigned section which changes functionality based on whether or not you have the noise brush selected or the stencil brush. We're going to skip that functionality for now, and then we're going to go right over to the strength and opacity. So I'm going to put in another divider, and we're going to leave the section between these two dividers empty for now. And we'll come back to that in, I think it's the very next video. So, but I promise we will come back to it. So this divider is going to be set at a position of 562, and we need to draw some sliders. Now, to be able to have some indicator of what these sliders are, I'm going to make a couple of labels. We're going to have one label that's going to be defined by a new rectangle with the values of 570 by our screen height minus 50 with a width of 16 and a height of 20. And I'm going to give it a value or a text value of S. I could write out the whole strength, but I wanted to minimize it because depending on your screen size, there could be just not enough room to display the entire word of strength. So I just shortened it down to S. Now, if I were going to do this for production, I would implement the tooltip. So when you hovered over it, it would pop up and say strength, so you had a better idea of what was going on. Now, an interesting thing is you can use tooltips with labels and pretty much anything that gives you the option to define a GUI content will allow you to assign a tooltip. So you could do new GUI content, and then inside of the GUI content, you've got a bunch of overloads which you can specify a text, image, or your string and tooltip. So you could do something like S here followed by your tooltip, which would be strength. And then I can get rid of it from here. Now, I'll just duplicate it. Another change on the fly. This will probably bite me at some point. And then I'll go, why did I do that again? Right. Now, because our labels are lined vertically, they're both going to have the same X position, but they're going to have different values being subtracted from their height. The first one was 50, the second one is 27. And if you remember, we're counting from the bottom of the screen up. So 27 is going to be the lower of the two labels on the screen, and this will be the higher when we go from the bottom up. We'll set this to be O. We'll give it a tooltip of opacity. So if I go ahead and build that out, and then let's jump over into Unity. I'll find the icon of any. It's like trying to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. I have a hard time with it.
Yeah, I noticed. It's all good, though.
So, all right. Now, if I bring it up, here's our divider on the left and on the right of our magic area. Here's our strength, and here's our opacity. Notice, I assigned a tooltip, but we're not getting any tooltips when we hover over it. So we have to deal with that somehow. So we'll get back to that.
Stop.
What?
But did you want to kill this?
Oh, fine. I like red errors because I'm changing code on the fly. All right. So, like I said, we'll deal with the tooltips in a little bit. But we'll go back to adding some more GUI elements. We're going to add a horizontal slider. And just like everything else, we need a new rectangle to define its shape. So this will start at 585. We'll go to a screen dot width, or sorry, height of -44. We're going to take this out to a screen dot width -590. Now, the reason we're doing this is we want to define our width based off of our overall screen, but starting at a certain position. So what we're doing is we're dynamically adjusting the width so that our sliders fill up any remainder of the space. This is kind of, as Jason would put it, a hack, because it's the easier of the solutions than going and taking something like our noise section or our stencil section and rearranging all of that to compensate based on available screen width. So I was being lazy and hacking it. I admit it. I'm comfortable with it.
It's all goodly.
All right. Now, the way this works is our slider has its current value that it displays. We give it a left value and a right value. So if the slider is all the way to the left, it has this value. If it's all the way to the right, it has the second value. And if we're some value in between, we're pretty much clamping by these two. And it will only display values between our left and right value. Now, the first one is strength. So our strength is a property of our sculpt tool. So we're going to get our sculpt tool's strength and display that. We want to hard code it so our left value is going to be 0 and our right value is going to be 1. Now this will, if I figure out what I did wrong, float strength, what are you not happy with?
You're creating a new rect.
Oh yeah, good catch. I was, creating some mystery thing. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, there we go. Now, this will display everything as we would expect it to, but the slider will be inoperative because of the fact that we're not allowing the slider to return a value and allow the strength to be changed. So we need to set the new value of strength to be whatever is returned from our GUI horizontal slider. We can copy this entire line of code. And let me wrap this around too, keep it all on the screen at once. For those that are still typing madly to keep up.
You got a pause button.
Yeah, I know. But trying to catch that exact moment when the text was off to the right of the screen can be difficult. So I try to keep everything on the screen for them. All right, so our next value is going to hold our opacity. Opacity is a property of our brush. So we call our brushes opacity. And we're going to set its value based off of our horizontal slider, but we need to display the value that we get from our brush opacity. So Let's move this, make it all line up nice and pretty. So this should give us our 2 sliders. So we go back over, give it a shot, and if it works, our strength and opacity should come to life for the very first time. So then, of course, I just drew the same thing over the top. You saw it too, didn't you?
I did.
And you just kept quiet.
You're just moving so fast, Lee.
I don't buy
I think
that.
your typing skills have even improved.
I'm not buying it. I think you were just waiting for an entry point to start tonight's razzing.
Me? Never.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm going to bed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asleep.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Thanks. You guys can figure out tooltips on your own. Thanks to Jason.
All right. That'll have that all worked out.
Yeah, allegedly.
And like you said, it'll be the first time ever that it's actually worked.
Ow. Well,
No, I'm just in the demo. That wasn't wired up.
No. Well, it did kind of work, but you had to change the code. So, nope, it's not sliding. Why are we not sliding then? How about
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, man. Can you believe it? It's not working. Oh, no. So we're going to have to figure out why it doesn't work. The mystery deepens. It's the man in the mask's fault. All right, so displaying sculpt tool strength, displaying opacity. Let me go look and see what I'm doing with my sculpt tool. I wonder if it could possibly be because I'm recreating my tools and I've set my properties as non-static. So they're constantly being reset to 1 every time we recreate it. I wonder if that could be it. Just a guess.
I mean,
What?
nothing. I mean, you just, yeah. It's just funny.
Uh-huh.
You don't see the humor in it?
It depends. My humor died like hours ago.
Oh, okay. After tonight's epic class?
Yeah, that was quite an entertaining class, actually.
Yeah, it was a great class. I loved it.
So let's see. This is going to make some things mad, but that doesn't surprise me. So instead of going sculpt tool strength, we need to do sculpt tool strength. And instead of brush, we need to do brush. Somebody who is blind and couldn't see the screen and heard me talking would probably be wondering what the hell I was talking about right now. So we're just switching from, using the instantiated version to the overall static. Though that would be interesting. Could you imagine that? A blind game developer?
That'd be interesting.
It's like, I wonder how they ever got into the field.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Challenging.
I think so, definitely. But, there are some blind people that pull off some amazing stuff. So
There are.
it wouldn't surprise me that much. But it would be kind of cool to meet him or her. Got to be politically correct, right?
Of course.
All right. See, I forgot to cross my fingers when I ran it that time. That was the problem.
You think?
I don't know.
Yeah. After you find out that it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Okay. Now go back over to your
Oh, boy.
code.
Yeah. What did I miss this time?
Switch back over. And read off line 13.
Oh, yeah. What do you know? Don't mind me. So, yeah, I could have used the...
I'm being quiet.
No, don't be quiet when it's stuff like that. When it's important stuff.
I did. I just gave you right where it was. I figured it wasn't going to take us another 15 seconds for you to try it out.
Yeah.
But I didn't let you experiment for a third time.
Yeah.
That's why I said, don't you see the humor behind this? That's what I meant.
No, I don't see the humor behind it. I see even less humor behind it now than I did, 2 updates ago. Oh, we will be discussing this later over
I told you
margaritas
what it
on
was.
air.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay, yes. I can be in trouble all day long for that.
Because we will discuss this in Bon Air over margaritas. You remember 6 months ago when we were recording videos at
Like, let me take another sip of this.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
You remember how jacked up that was? You're buying the next round, too. Oh, man. Though, we work well on 2 hours of sleep. Though I think I got more sleep than you did. Though it was broken up over the entire day. Hey, look, it moves now.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we're getting closer. So, well, that's a plus. Okay, now, does it actually do anything? Strength. Okay. I'd say so. I can't.
Not raising anything.
Yeah, that's a plus. What if I go just a little bit, like right about there?
Woo! Finally.
It's a little bit.
Yep.
It's a little bit more.
Outstanding.
Whoa. It was lagging. It was like going up and down. It was cool. All right, now let's fix this. Fix the crater.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I knew it was too. It was inevitable. But I know how to fix it. So, can you do it? Can you do it? There we go. Fix it.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Now, opacity should pretty much have the same effect. So, no effect from the brush.
Yeah, go and turn opacity down a lot more. Yeah, about there. Yeah, perfect.
So, now you got to remember, strength and opacity in this case is a cumulative effect. So, if I dial down strength and opacity,
fine control.
Very, very fine.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
So, while both of these are applying because we're multiplying it twice by opacity and strength, this gives us as much fine control as we need. But I also needed opacity because if you remember, brushes may or will right now, in theory, transfer over to our texturing. So we still need to be able to control opacity when we're painting textures. So we need that functionality. But it would be also nice that if for some reason we were using some sort of tool that did not rely on a brush, that we could control its overall effect in some way. So while, yes, in this configuration with our tools and these brushes, these are redundant, so you can achieve the same effect with either one. The definition of redundant, wow, pretty good there. Live demonstration. But while we can achieve the effect with either one of these or, even fire control with both, if we didn't have strength and we implemented some sort of tool that didn't rely on a brush, we'd have no way of fine controlling its overall effect without, going into code and adjusting it or figuring out some other system that only worked with that particular tool. So that's why we have both. Now, we probably need to deal with that tooltip, seeing how I decided to show how you could possibly do it. So, once again, back in the code. All right. Now, this ought to be fun. GUI dot tooltip. Really, you can't give me any hints. fine. Be that way. Then I'm going to use a label because I know I can make a label work if I don't have caps lock on. All right, so we're going to take a label, and we'll do a new rectangle. And because tooltips are kind of funny, let's go and figure out where we're going to draw it. So I'm going to do it this way instead. Well, partially instead. For position is going to equal input dot mouse position. That way I don't have to type out input dot mouse position for everything. So we're going to start off at position dot x, not comma x, minus whatever width I want my tooltip to be. So I'll do minus 50 here. Position dot y minus 10, a width of 100, a height of 20, and for the text I'm going to display what we stored in GUI.tooltip. And because tooltip is a string, which we set by using our GUI content with this. At least I think so. Let's see if I'm right. So I just don't remember if I have to check an event for mouse over or something. It's been a long time since I did this. Remind me not to come up with stuff on the fly just to show off.
Why? It's funny.
Oh, guess what I missed?
Gotta love those coordinate systems.
Yep. Hold on. Invert y. So how do we do this? Screen dot height minus position minus 10. Not that this is infuriating in the slightest. And let's see. Yeah, I can do a GUI style on this. So let's go with GUI style. We've got our skin available, I believe, and let's use our box. Yeah, just laugh it up. I know you're enjoying this.
No, it's all good.
No, not at all. Yeah, well, maybe I should only do that when the tooltip pops up.
You think?
Yeah, shut up. All right, I was kind of hoping that would work. Before I do that, let me see. Where's my skin? It's around here somewhere. Nope, there is no tooltip. Darn. Oh well. Okay, well, fine. Be that way. See, if I were writing the system, I'd have the ability to do that. And let's go back to code. Oh well, it was worth a shot. So we'll get rid of the box.
But
What?
hit T.
I'm going to. Yes?
Yeah, that'll work. It's a little messy, but that'll work.
I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry. But
Man, I swear. I get no respect whatsoever. Ever. Is it too much to ask? I swear. Closer.
Yeah, it works.
No, I'm not happy with it. I want it to alternate between red and yellow flashing.
Oh boy. Sorry, guys.
What?
Nothing.
I want everybody to see it and not for it not to be missed. I was like, oh, wow, that is a tooltip. All applications should have that type of tooltip. All right, a little bit better. It'll survive.
Yeah, it works.
So we've got our tooltip. We've got opacity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I move the slider for strength, we have strength and we have opacity. And we can have fun. So you want to play? I know you do.
No, it's good. We've already gone 26 minutes. And, yeah.
Okay. Well, fine. Then we'll stop playing.
Nah, very good. And that leaves us with just a couple of things that we need to get tidied up. And full of knocked out all of 7, which is awesome.
A couple of things to get tidied up. Those are actually quite substantial, tiny things.
I know.
Wow.
All right. Well, with this in place, that's going to wrap this video up. Thanks a lot, everyone.